In the book Dark Lord, The Rise of Darth Vader by James Luceno, I found a really interesting passage that I'd like to share with you all. In fact, I found many which I'll spread over a few videos this week that really provide all the insight and thoughts we'd expect Vader to have about the Jedi, Padme, Sidious, and his very transition into Vader as Anakin. In this book, Vader was sent back to Coruscant to visit the Jedi Temple that had been raided with the 501st Legion of clone troopers. His thoughts after he killed Mace Windu, and how he slaughtered all the Jedi, including the younglings. The scene I'm going to read a passage from in the book takes place after the events of Revenge of the Sith, where Vader is sent to Coruscant by Sidious to check on the Jedi Temple to search for some ancient Sith Holocrons harbored by the Jedi. I'll give my brief thoughts on it afterwards. Here we go. Rain was rare on weather-controlled Coruscant, but every so often microclimatic storms would build in the bustling sky and sweep across the technoscape. Today's had blown in from the works and moved east with great speed, lashing the abandoned Jedi Temple with unprecedented force. Vader's enhanced hearing could pick up the sound of fat, wind-driven raindrops spattering against the temple's elegant spires and flat roof. An eerie counterpoint to the sound of his boot heels striking the adamantine floor and echoing in the darkened, deserted corridors. Sidious had sent him on a mission, ostensibly to search the archives for the Sith Holocrons long rumored to have been brought to the temple centuries earlier. But Vader knew the truth.
Sidious wants to rub my massive face in the aftermath of the slaughter I spearheaded.
Though the corpses had been removed by stormtroopers and droids, most of the spilled blood washed away. Scorch marks on the walls and ceilings attested to the surprise attack. Columns lay toppled, heritage tapestries hung in shreds, rooms reeked of carnage. But evidence of a less tangible sort also existed. The temple teemed with ghosts. What might have been the wind wending into hold hallways never before penetrated sounded like the funeral keening of spirits waiting to be avenged. What might have been the resonance of the footfalls of Commander Apo's stormtroopers sounded like the beat of distant war drums. What might have been smoke fires that should have gone out weeks earlier seemed like the wraiths writhing in torment. Most of Vader's Anakin memories grew fainter by the day, but not Anakin's memories of what had happened here. They were as fresh as this morning sunrise, glimpsed from the rooftop chamber in which Vader rested. True sleep continued to lie just out of reach, an object pursued in vain in an unsettling dream. He no longer had visions, either. That ability, that double-edged ability, seemingly had been burned out of him on Mustafar. But Vader remembered being in thrall of what he had done in Palpatine's office. Watching the old man plead for his life, listening to the old man promising that only he had the power to save Padme, rushing to his defense. Sith lightning hurling an astonished Mace Windu through what had been a window. Anakin kneeling before Sidious and being dubbed Vader. Go to the Jedi Temple, Sidious had said.
I want you to go to the Jedi Temple. We will catch them off balance.
Only then will you be strong enough with the dark side to save Padme.
Only then will you be strong enough with the dark side to save Padme.
And so, he had gone to the temple, instrument of the same resolute intent that had carried Obi-Wan to Mustafar with one goal in mind, death to the enemy. In his mind's eye, Vader saw his and the 501st's march to the temple gates, their wrathful attack. The mad moments of bloodlust, the dark side unleashed in all its crimson fury. Some moments he remembered more clearly than others, pitting his blade against that of Swordmaster Sin Drelig, beheading some of the very masters who had instructed him in the ways of the Force, and, of course, his cold extermination of the younglings, and with them, the future of the Jedi Order. He had wondered beforehand, could he do it? Still new to the dark side, would he be able to call on its power to guide his hand and lightsaber? In answer, the dark side had whispered, they are orphans. They are without family or friends. There is nothing that can be done with them. They are better off, dead. So Vader, while trying to dissolve his memories as Anakin, remembers vividly exactly what he did there on that night at the temple. How he so mercilessly beheaded his old teachers and his feelings throughout. There has always been good in Vader, and that's why he returned as Anakin Skywalker in Episode 6, because he never fully killed off Anakin within him. Although faint like a sliver of light, he was still alive and waited to return. In the book, it also mentions how Vader never wanted to turn to the dark side. I'll quote now. He had executed Sidious's command because the Jedi would never have understood Anakin's decision to sacrifice Mace and the rest in order that Padme might survive the tragic death she suffered in Anakin's visions. More important, the Jedi would have attempted to stand in the way of the decisions he and Padme would have needed to make regarding the fate of the galaxy, beginning with the assassination of Sidious. So, Anakin did in fact plan to overthrow Sidious once he learned of the new power to save his wife. Other than that, he wasn't evil. He was merely just pathetically desperate to the point of betraying everyone he knew, including killing children. As I'll explain more in tomorrow's video, which will go more in depth on his turn to the dark side in particular, we'll see how Anakin never really wanted to turn to the dark side, or kill Jedi for that matter. He was just sad and depressed. He felt that because he wasn't made a master, that the council didn't respect him, thus sparking his initial hatred for them and leading to his inevitable turn. So for tomorrow, would you like me to do a video covering the thoughts Anakin had when he saw Obi-Wan on Mustafar, and then when he was choking Padme? Or I could do a fanfiction covering what if Anakin never killed Count Dooku? Let me know in the comments below, and also let me know what you thought about Vader's visit back to the temple, and I'll chime in as well. I hope you all had a great day, and I'll see you all tomorrow in the next episode of Star Wars Theory. Until then, my fellow Jedi and Sith friends, remember,
The Force will be with you. Always.